Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this. Why I stopped stretching for my back pain. Get to that in a second. Enjoy the beautiful day. Look at all the green. I love it. Relax. Slow your breath. Alright, so for me, I stretched my back, my glutes, my hamstrings, 20 minutes a day, or 20 minutes at a time, several times a day, 3, 4, 5 times a day, depending upon the day and how much I was hurting. And I was always doing it because I felt better after I was done. And so that little bit of temporary relief is what kept pulling me back into it over and over and over again. The biggest challenge I had was that I would stretch for 20 minutes and I'd stand up a little straighter and I'd feel a little bit better. And I'd say, oh, good. Get that little burst of, okay, doing something good for myself. 20 minutes later, I'd be all tight, jacked up again, and I wouldn't really be making any progress. So why did I stop stretching? Well, I realized after a stint of about 6 weeks with the physical therapist, where even though I was very crooked and I had very specific muscle imbalances, they gave me the stock standard stretches for back, like a photocopied, like right off the printer. And they weren't any different for me than they were for somebody else who might have had different muscle imbalances. Now, I wasn't in pain because I had muscle imbalances. I had the muscle imbalances from compensating for my back pain and sciatica for so long. I got all twisted up. So after a six-week stint with physical therapy, towards the end of my journey, and getting progressively worse and worse and worse, and doing these stretches religiously and trying to do what they're telling me to, going to see them a couple of times a week, 2-3 times a week, getting worse and worse and worse, finally dawned on me the reason I was getting worse is because I kept on trying to fix my back. I knew about Sarno for easily 10 years by this point, but I was still stretching my back, which was counterproductive because every time I'd stretch my back, I'd say, well, it feels good. But the real message was, I've got a back problem. And as I went to physical therapy, and I had these professionals look at me like, wow, look at how messed up this guy is. Come here. Look at how crooked he is. Week after week after week, I got worse and worse and worse. Now, I didn't even go to physical therapy for pain. I went there because I was so crooked. And I said, hey, can you help me rebalance myself? And because I had these professionals telling me how jacked up and messed up I was, my brain perceived more and more and more danger. And my symptoms and pain got worse and worse and worse. I started out going in there with maybe a level 3 pain scale. By the time those 6 weeks were over, I was a level 7 or 8 chronic, meaning all day, every day. Really got pretty rough. And I realized the physical therapy wasn't helping. They were not open to the mind-body concept whatsoever, even though I brought them, the Healing Back Pain book on CD. That's how long ago it was. They wouldn't listen to it. They wouldn't entertain it at all. And so I finally fired them, and I also decided to stop stretching because it wasn't getting me anywhere. It was not the cure, and as a matter of fact, it was confusing my brain by sending a very specific message, even 3 times a day, 20 minutes. I was spending an hour subconsciously telling my brain, I got a back problem because I'm stretching. And that's one of the reasons why physical treatments are a bad idea. Ice, heat, stretching, massage, acupuncture, physical therapy, chiropractic. All of these treatments convince the brain that we've got a body problem. The same thing goes for medical treatments like injections, surgeries. Look, folks, rule out anything significant, catastrophic. Go to the hospital if something feels like it's life-threatening. Please get checked out. But if they give you a clean bill of health and send you home, then we look at the behavior of the symptoms. Does it behave like TMS? So there's 2 ways to get the assessments done. Is this TMS.com or chapter 6 of my book. So why did I stop stretching for my back? It never helped me. Now look, I'm not very flexible, but I'm now, 13 years, 14 years, I don't even know the count of exactly when my pain went away. I wish I wrote it down. But well over a decade later, I don't stretch at all. I don't do any specific exercises to strengthen my back. I have no daily protocol for my mind-body practice. I don't do anything to keep my back from getting pain and sciatica again. There's no daily routine. I live my life. And if I get a twinge, I dismiss it. It's not significant. It's just the brain perceiving danger. And it goes away. Why? Because I'm not fueling it with fear and attention. I know what it is. Let it go. And it does. So why did I stop stretching for my back pain? It never worked. Now look, if you want to do a stretching practice for overall health and well-being, wonderful. Start that up after you feel better. Because during the process where you're trying to teach the brain that you're actually okay and your body's fine, I think it can get confusing. Now obviously everybody makes their own decision. I'm sure there's some people who are going to decide, yeah, it sounds good, Dan, but I'm going to keep stretching because I like how it feels. Just understand, sometimes, in my case, physical treatments delayed my recovery because I kept on confusing my brain for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes a day by treating the back as if the back was the problem, instead of focusing on conveying safety to the brain consistently. So that's why I stopped stretching. Give it some thought in your situation, and I guess we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Love you.